death. And with gratitude, touching into gratitude for the ancestors of our land where we live, the ancestral peoples, the indigenous peoples here in Montreal, Chichaga, bowing to the many indigenous peoples who lived here. It was a meeting place, and particularly the Kanyankahaga people are respected as having stewarded this land, and continue to be present and very much involved and caring for this land. And it still is a meeting place for many people. It still is a gathering place. And so we can bring a sense of the care and commitment that we honor in the indigenous traditions, the care and commitment and sense of familiarity with all living beings, with all life forms. And gathering attention here in the body, within each of us, this precious body, this precious human body, that is our foundation and ally in our practice. So I'd ask you to join me in beginning with the, I need to screen share. And maybe I need to be co-host. So chanting the homage, refuges, and precepts. I often just, as I begin to chant the homage, I ask myself, what have I been paying homage to? What have I been honoring in my life? Have I been deeply honoring awakening? Or have I been more honoring getting through my list of things to do than remembering to come home to myself, my deepest self, my truest self, as I move through the day and stay seated and grounded in that which knows. So that for me is how we begin these chanting refuges and precepts, just at coming home to ourselves and prioritizing this in each moment. So please feel welcome to chant with me, or to just follow and listen, or read the English translations as we go along. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sangham saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sangham saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sangham saranang gacchami. So as we take the training in peaceful conduct, the 5 precepts, we can perhaps touch into what is our aspiration in contemplating and making a commitment to training in these precepts. It's said that these precepts offer the gift of fearlessness, offer safety, harmlessness to all with whom we engage or in relationship in our lives. Not only human beings, but the animals and the trees and the flowers. That this attitude of not wanting to do harm and caring for all life can radiate outwards and into the field of our activity, the field around us. And we can also take that in from others. One reason why the Sangha is so precious, this shared commitment to giving these precious gifts to one another. Panatipata Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Adinadana Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Kamesu michachara Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Musawada Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Sura Maria Maja Pamadatana Veramani Sikapadam Samadhiyami. Idam Nisila Maga Phala Nyanasa Pachaya Hotu. Sadhu, 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 anumodami. So, friends, for those of you who have been engaging or joining in this gathering over the past months, since September, we've been moving through the Satipatthana Sutta. And last week we began the third Satipatthana, mental states. So mental states are the how awareness is in some ways colored or impacted, influenced. Influence has the sense of flowing through. And that's I think an apt image. So our awareness, the chitta, the heart, can be colored by different qualities, and they may be qualities of that lead to suffering, such as grasping and anger and hatred, judgment, delusion, confusion, being ignorance, turning away, dullness of mind. All of these are qualities that lead us away from clarity, openness, peace, and mental balance, well-being. And then the mind can also, the heart mind can also be influenced by other states, beautiful states that arise naturally or that we cultivate, such as kindness and love and compassion and generosity and gratitude, forgiveness. So all of these are qualities of mind that influence how we experience what is arising in our field of awareness through the senses. And so what the Buddha says is simply know, as we turn our attention inward to the quality of heart mind, to simply know that if there is grasping, to know there is grasping. If there's anger, if there's confusion, spaced out mind, anxiety, to know it. So it's not, there's not in this Satipatthana any instruction to push it away, to turn away. In fact, to know it is to turn toward it, to be aware of it, to bring mindfulness to it. So I mentioned last week, and I'll just repeat it, that that on this journey through the Satipatthanas, as we're cultivating and practicing these ways, these arenas of mindfulness. Joseph uses the word arena, or it's like a sphere of mindfulness in which we can practice mindfulness. So in every one of these areas of experience, the body, feeling tone or Vedana, the mind, mental states, chitta, these are areas of experience to which we can bring this quality of sati, of knowing, of being attentive without preference, with an attitude of openness and acceptance of what is in each moment. And so the first object that the Buddha said to give attention to is the breathing, and that's in the Satipatthana on the body. And when we turn our attention to the breathing, we're turning our attention inward. So we're bringing our attention to the experience of the breath, of the in-breath and the out-breath, and how we know it in the body, the knowing of the breathing. So the sensations of the breath in the whole body, and also in other ways that the breathing in and breathing out may have an effect on our experience, energizing, relaxing. All of these are to be explored and known. And then the Buddha goes on to asking us to know all of our different postures, all the body postures. And so we know them by feeling the body from within. The phrase is used, mindful of the body in the body. So it's not that we're looking in a mirror all the time to watch all our different postures. That would be confusing. We're feeling our body from within. We're knowing our body from within, mindful of the body in the body. And so we learn to be embodied. And in the contemplations first of all, the anatomy of the body, we're bringing our attention inward in the body to recognize that we're not just this package of skin that we see from the outside, but the body is made up of so many different parts. And then in the contemplations of the four elements, the emphasis is on knowing these by feeling them, feeling the earthiness of the body, the solidity of the body, the bones, the feeling of the sit bones as you're sitting on a chair or cushion or bench, the sense of the weight on the body being supported by the earth, and then the wateriness of the body, feeling the saliva in the mouth, the wetness of the eyes, and the warmth, the fire of the body, the warmth of the body, and then the air element, feeling the breath in the body, and also the space element, not emphasized in this discourse, but in other discourses, kind of knowing the spaces in the body, in the mouth, in the stomach, and so on, feeling those spaces of openness. And so all of these cultivate an embodied awareness, and then as we move on to Vedana, feeling tone, this also is an inner experience, and we're noticing just that simple quality of pleasant, unpleasant, neutral that arises with each sense experience. And this is also known internally. It's a mental experience. So it brings our experience from, like, I'm looking at a lamp on my desk, and it's a very beautiful kind of turquoise blue, which I experience as pleasant. And so it turns my experience from focusing solely on the object to knowing how, that object is experienced mentally, internally. And so that simple coming to understand pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral helps to diminish the delusion that somehow my happiness is dependent on objects that exist outside myself. And we also learn to distinguish between worldly and unworldly, or sensory and non-sensory, pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral experiences. And we come to learn that really happiness, that pleasant experiences, which bring well-being, a sense of well-being, can be cultivated, cultivating kindness, cultivating metta and compassion and generosity and gratitude for our lives. And so we are developing more and more that the inner life, and attention to the inner life. And so in mental states, it brings this to another level, because we're aware of how the heart mind is knowing our moment by moment experience. And I'm drawing from, as I've mentioned before, I'm drawing from the Bhikkhu Analayo's book, Satipatthana Meditation, a Practice Guide. And I really, I have a little paragraph I'd like to read. The specific contribution made by the third Satipatthana in this respect is proper identification of the actual condition of our state of mind as a direct approach to honest recognition and the taking of responsibility for what happens within. In practical terms, this can take the form of a regular check-in to see how the mind is doing right now. So it's, he emphasizes, there are two words that really stood out for me in that paragraph, is honest recognition. So, I really have felt, as I've been on this path, that one way to describe practice is learning to be really honest with ourselves. And that honest recognition, like, what is actually happening? Not what do I feel I should, what do I believe I should be experiencing right now, or what do I wish I were experiencing, but honestly, what's happening right now within this heart mind. And that allows the next step, which is taking responsibility. I can take responsibility for my well-being. I can take responsibility for my happiness, and I can take responsibility for not acting out of states from which unskillful words and actions would flow. So if I'm honest and I say, I'm really, really angry right now, I'm hurt, I'm angry, I feel I was treated unkindly or unfairly, whatever the interpretation of the experience is, to just bring it out of the narrative, out of the you said, they said, he said, she said, to me, and really just like, this is what's present, this is what's happening. So going below the storyline and touching into what's driving that storyline. To just quote a little bit further along, the basic pattern that we as the Buddha said, the untutored person, the person who's not practicing, and we're all both the untutored and the noble disciple. That's the path. We go back and forth between being that one who forgets everything we've learned and then remembering and becoming the noble disciple again. So the basic pattern is to give all attention to what is right in front of us. So what's happening through our senses, what we're taking in through our senses. Or else, if something really strong comes up in the emotional domain, the narrow beam of focus shifts to that. We turn around, as it were, and all else is completely forgotten. So that's that mind storm, as Christine Feldman says, sort of the Sturm und Drang of the drama that can overtake us in the mind, and we lose track of everything else, and that's what's going on. So we can get so caught up in the mental state that we lose sight of everything else. And so this capacity to recognize clearly what's happening in the mind, to turn toward it with kindness, awareness, openness, without trying to fix or change it, but just bringing awareness to it in a way that already changes our relation to it. Rather than being at the effect of it, we're knowing it, we're giving it space to be known. And within that space, instead of holding it and continuing to get played by it, we are giving it space to move and eventually to move through. And so that is really the quality of this of the practice of this third Satipatthana. So, and the Buddha also says that those qualities of mind, of heart mind, those states of mind which support our practice, which, such as a sense of well-being, a sense of gratitude, a sense of kindness for ourselves, compassion for ourselves, kindness for others, and compassion for others, and so on. That these are also they're conditioned states of mind, but they support our happiness and well-being, and it's important to know them, to know they're present, and also not to cling to them. And there's not the need to in a way recognize or discern how we're holding to them, or in any way practice with them, because there are different ways of practicing with all of these states. Sometimes it's, turning toward and giving space and knowing is the most basic insight practice, but there are also practices of bringing metta to the heart, which is in pain, or compassion, or connecting with the beauty of nature, which helps us to feel connected to life. There are many skillful means of as we are recognizing and turning toward our own suffering, and so these more skillful states of mind which support, which are onward leading, they don't require. They just need to be known. Oh, here's generosity. Here's patience. Here's kindness. Here is diligence, and so on. And so, as we begin the meditation, let's take a moment as we begin to check in and say, what is present right now? And also at the end of the practice, Bhikkhu and Alyo suggests that we also just check in at the end of our practice and recognize what is the quality of heart mind that's present right now at the beginning and at the end of each practice. So let's take a moment, if you need to stand up and stretch, or move around, take a sip of water, please feel free to do so. And as you feel ready, please take whatever posture is supportive to you today for your meditation, whether it's sitting on a chair or cushion or bench, or lying down or standing. Feeling the body upright, balanced, supported by the earth. relaxed, and at the same time energized through the spine, lifting the vertebrae through the spine and through the crown of the head. The eyes closed or just looking slightly downward and relaxed. And relaxing the face and the throat, the shoulders, the heart, and the abdomen, and the pelvis, the thighs, the lower legs, feet, arms and the hands. Knowing this presence of mindfulness in the body. Feeling the breath or whatever focus helps you to come home to the body. Come home to yourself. And as we begin the sitting, checking into the heart mind, what is the quality of awareness? What is the quality of chitta? And as we notice during the meditation that the mind may get caught up in a narrative and a story, and the practice could be to just bring that inquiry to go under the story and what is driving it. What is the quality of heart mind? What are the mental states that may be present? And what happens when turning toward that mental state with kindness, with attention, with receptivity, free of judgment, with acceptance? What happens? And if, when that mental state shifts, changes, moves through, what is the quality of chitta that replaces it? One of the qualities that the Buddha names in the Satipatthana of mental states is liberated mind. Knowing unliberated mind as unliberated mind, and liberated mind as liberated mind. Knowing unliberated mind, knowing the mind that is caught, that is all wound up, that is hooked. And knowing liberated mind, which is not the same as being fully awakened, but it is that doorway toward liberation. In any moment, in turning toward that which traps us, that which holds us, that which we are holding. And the letting go, which happens simply by turning toward with mindfulness. Knowing the quality of liberated mind. Which is a beautiful quality. as we turn our attention inward to the knowing of what is arising in the heart mind, we can turn the attention toward the knowing itself. What is knowing the arising of each of these states? The knowing quality itself. as we come to the end of our formal meditation practice, I invite you to bring to focus the quality of joy, of gladness that arises as we find this home in the citta, find our home in this quality of knowing, which is unobscured and untainted by afflictive emotions, even if it's just for a moment or a few moments, to come to realize, to recognize this as our true home. And that there is, in the Anapanasati Sutta, there is these qualities of joy, different kinds of joy that are named, and the name of this joy is translated as gladness. It's a deep joy of abiding in the stability of not grasping, not pushing away, finding our seat in that luminous quality of mind. And for me, the gratitude this evokes of which extends outward in all directions, wanting to share the blessing, the goodness of our practice. And so as we perhaps could just imagine or visualize this quality of gladness, of kindness, of well-being, radiating, emanating boundlessly in all directions. Even if it's not something that is a very intense experience, even if it's a subtle experience of well-being, simply this wish to share it, that others may know it, those who may be caught in suffering, caught in very painful circumstances of life, illness, dying, war, hunger, loss. May all beings be well. May all beings know peace. And may the blessings, the merit of our practice serve and support the happiness, well-being, and liberation of all beings. So let's just take a moment before we move into reflection time, to touch in to what is present right now in the heart mind. What is the quality of knowing? So maybe we can